What's up, morons? KotyTang here. We're rated Sonic. If you haven't seen part 1, hurry the fuck up and watch it, or don't. Now whip it out and let's go. When we last left off, we were introduced to all of our favorite characters and met entirely new characters, Tangle the Lemur and Rough and Tumble. And also, Eggman was revealed to be squatting in some random dude's house. So let's see where that takes us. Issue 5. For the first issue that isn't part of a panorama, we have Sonic isolated under the shadow of Dr. Eggman here. Sure, Sonic is drawn well, and sure, the shadow is a very cool idea. It's nothing unique, but it's cool. And that's the cover. There's nothing else to it. It's very plain. Not anything to really look at. It's a pretty disappointing cover, really. There's nothing of any actual value to see here. Issue 5 opens up with Sonic working together with Espio. The backstory for how this random scenario of Sonic fighting Badniks came to be, well, there really isn't one. This scene is genuinely just kind of taking place, and I suppose that Espio just happened to arrive mid-fight. It's made just so Espio can be like, "Hey Sonic, here's a long explanation of how we tracked down Dr. Eggman." To which even Sonic is like, you could have just said that. But the problem is, Espio doesn't think that Eggman is behind the sudden surge of Badniks at all. After searching Eggman's last known lab, they've come up with no evidence. As did searching through its bases. They didn't even find so much as a log of escape plans after the war on Sonic forces. Espio apparently received an anonymous tip that led them to a village, and he takes Sonic to the village. And it houses none other than Mr. Tinker. Sonic doesn't buy Eggman's new identity. It turns out, Dr. Eggman doesn't remember anything at all because he has amnesia. So, Sonic asks him a barrage of questions, to which Vector finally intervenes and reassures Mr. Tinker that it's just a case of mistaken identity. Espio says that this is the reason he doesn't think Eggman is behind the Badniks, to which Sonic remains skeptical. Vector says they've thoroughly interrogated him. I have no idea what the hell that even means. But Sonic just can't wrap his head around Eggman being good now. What with the Egg Viper, the time he split the Earth open, the time Eggman destroyed time, and the time he blew up some of the moon, they're really reminding people of Eggman firing at the moon. Ain't no way we're gonna let that lore settle in and proceed to show the moon perfectly fine in every night scene afterwards. You cannot just blow up the fucking moon and be like, oh, just turn around. It doesn't work like that. So the Chaotix and Sonic discuss how Eggman should still be punished for his crimes. Honestly, what kind of conversation even is this? Never in history has Eggman ever served a punishment for his crimes. The worst that happens is he's defeated, he runs away, he does it all over again a few months later. Sonic, his friends, and the entire world have literally never punished Eggman for any crime he's ever committed. I'm genuinely curious. What type of punishment would you give to Eggman? Would they have all just collectively started beating his ass on the spot? Also, Sonic has a random change of heart now and questions if Eggman even deserves a punishment as Mr. Tinker. So, the head of the village comes in to give his own perspective. Eggman arrived mysteriously. Nobody really knows how, so they locked his ass up. Then he escaped and reinforced his own cell. And then they gave him a bunch of tests, fixed him back up to health. He then began fixing and improving everything in the village. And because of this, Eggman doesn't deserve to get a Sonic Heroes beatdown apparently. Before anybody can make a true decision about what to do with this new Eggman, the town is attacked by Badniks, to which Sonic is immediately like, oh yeah, we got his ass now. But after going to confront Eggman, he sees him cowering inside of a house, protecting the children in the village, to which Sonic finally accepts that this Mr. Tinker ain't such a stinker.
Boo! Give it a rest! Beat it!
Boo! You stink!
Are you ready? No problem.
In the middle of the fight with the Badniks, we flash over to whoever this mysterious person is behind the chair. And apparently, this villain doesn't know about the place that Dr. Eggman was sent to. This person not being Eggman, it would definitely explain the lack of knowledge that he's had towards Sonic and his friends during Sonic Forces. So now that Sonic has confirmed that Eggman is Mr. Tinker now, they become the best of friends. And it's mutually agreed that Mr. Tinker will be left in the village. But then, Mr. Tinker tells Sonic about him planning to create Eggman Land. Just as Sonic's brain starts spinning, motherfucking Shadow the Hedgehog! Issue 6. Absolutely incredible cover to this issue. This is by far the greatest cover the series has had up to this point. Look, I don't need to describe how great this thing looks, but what's up with Rouge's face? She's feeling this fight a little too much. So this is the first time we're seeing Shadow in the comics. Sega has been absolutely butchering his character. Instead of him being stoic and brooding and serious, Shadow has been changed into an edgelord who just does and says edgy things because edgy things are cool. And I'm really hoping that IDW can turn him back into an actual good character. I guess we'll see what they can do. After seeing that Eggman is back in town, Shadow is ready to jump at the chance to fight him. Sonic spends the next few moments trying to stop Shadow, but...
Shadow, hang on!
You're in my way.
Knock it off! What's the matter? Nobody's faster than me!
Fine.
Is that all you got? Yeah!
Here I go!
No! Shadow!
This time! There!
The Chaotix try to step in, but realize they're way too slow for that fight, and instead start pestering Rouge about bringing Oh, can we draw her like that? Rouge says that Shadow doesn't pull any punches, which is funny because he does that the entire fight with Sonic. Rouge then reveals that she's the one that gave the anonymous tip to the Chaotix to indirectly warn them about Shadow heading toward Mr. Tinker's location, with the assumption that the Chaotix would bring Sonic to stop him. You know, this kind of begs the question of how the tip even got to them in the first place. So Sonic continues to fight Shadow. He tries to bring out various moments throughout their adventures, and Shadow instead brings up the time when Sonic was captured for several months in Sonic Forces, and Eggman made Sonic suffer.
This is the end, Sonic.
Oh, hey, sounds like the party started. Want to let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun.
Sonic reminds Shadow that he and Sonic weren't always on the same side, and at one point, Shadow even tried to destroy the planet himself. Shadow concedes. Honestly, no. Sonic is an asshole for this. Shadow did one bad thing that he was essentially reprogrammed to do, then immediately spent his life remedying the very things that he did. Whereas Eggman, he does terrible things and he continues doing terrible things. See, Shadow never relapsed. Eggman has either outright tried to or indirectly jump-started events that would destroy the planet several times. And he fully planned on doing it again each time he was defeated. So yeah, I think Shadow can be completely forgiven, and not Eggman. Sonic had purposely led Shadow away from the village, as if that would stop anything, because once Shadow realizes this, he just kind of runs back. The Chaotix try to stop him, but he just teleports through him and goes directly to Eggman, which is just more proof that Shadow was not actually trying to hurt Sonic. And weirdly enough, it kind of implies that he wanted to have Sonic convince him to not hurt Eggman. So Shadow tells Eggman to show him Mr. Tinker's Eggman Land, which is currently just a prototype for a harmless amusement park. Shadow finally lets his hatred go, and Rouge and Shadow leave. And just like that, Shadow is gone. Now, Shadow is a very powerful character. He's arguably the strongest character in the Sonic universe. And because of that, I can see he's gonna be one of those characters that the writers would rather find some lazy ass way to remove him from scenes quickly, instead of create scenarios that can, I don't know, actually work with him. Sonic has one final conversation with Eggman where he once again expresses his doubts. Meanwhile, the man behind the chair continues to weigh in on the situation. He gets up from his chair and it's Dr. Eggman! He announces that he's going to join the Egg Fleet for the next phase of his master plan. So, is Mr. Tinker a robot? Is this some weird clone of Eggman left over by the Phantom Ruby? Is Mr. Tinker the clone? Is this not even Eggman at all? I guess we'll just have to find out in issue 7. What a simple cover this is. There's not really much going on, but it does have Sonic running across Eggman's battleship, so I guess that's pretty cool. Yeah, this and issue 5 are definitely the weakest covers so far. They both look pretty lazily done. The cannons, they look flat and plain, the shading's really weak. There's barely any depth at all in this shot. It looks like little to no effort was put into this. Dude, issue 6 was such a good cover. How did we go from this to this? Yeah, I'm definitely putting issue 7 and 5 in my top 10 worst covers list. Immediately right into the action. Sonic and Tails are going straight for the Egg Fleet, which is apparently radar proof. Their constant searches for Eggman through the Badniks have consistently led them to finding out nothing. So Tails gives Sonic a device that will allow them to download all the data of the ship. Sonic questions how to even use the thing and Tails is just like, bro, it's simple science, man. I just made it access any Wi-Fi network ever. And that is what we call movie magic. So we have now confirmed that the Egg Fleet is running on its own private internet. So Sonic jumps off Tails' plane and the fun begins.
Let's go!
If it isn't Sonic!
Yikes!
This one shot is one of my favorite panels so far. Eggman has never really been portrayed as a menacing villain, but he has always had massive potential to be. Given his enormous IQ and his insane machines that he's constantly creating, Eggman could be one of the scariest people on the planet. So Sonic interrupts Eggman before he can even give him a monologue and says that he's already got him figured out as a fake, which, I mean, Sonic has to have some astronomical brain power to know that this Eggman is not the real Eggman and that Mr. Tinker is not the actual fake. Considering that he could see both of them clear as day and they both look exactly like Eggman, I'm surprised he's not completely distraught at trying to figure out who's who. But that doesn't matter because what happens next will shock you. Dr. Eggman acknowledges that he is in fact not Dr. Eggman because he's really
What the? Metal Sonic?
Metal motherfucking Sonic! Metal Sonic explains how he was reprogrammed by Eggman and all of his rebellious coding was removed. Eggman planned on actually utilizing him as his greatest weapon in Sonic Forces, but Metal Sonic's reconstruction was completed too late for him to actually help out in any way. So, assumedly, the reason that Metal Sonic knows literally nothing about the events during Sonic Forces is because he was just simply completed way too late. Sure, I'll take it. Any fight with Metal Sonic is a good fight with Metal Sonic. So Metal Sonic took on Eggman's biodata and copied his appearance. He then went to rule as a proxy for Dr. Eggman until he could retrieve the Doctor back and return his rule. But he'll need Sonic to do that now, because Sonic and the Chaotix conveniently stopped the Badniks from finding out the location that Eggman was actually staying. Which, I mean, I would assume he knows that he's in that village now. I mean, considering that he asked Sonic where Eggman is, so I would assume that's why he would ask that. But then he doesn't really need Sonic to tell him if he knows. Sonic is done waiting around, and the fight begins.
Heh, not the best way to greet those you haven't seen in a while.
Sonic, I was created
Same
for
as
the
ever.
Got nothing left?
You okay?
Life form data successfully copied.
Looks like.
Burn. to thee.
It's not over yet!
See ya!
Take this. My loathsome copy.
And that shit was dope as hell. Literally the best fight to happen so far in this entire comic. I want to talk about this one instance very briefly. You see this right here? This is called throwaway dialogue. It means literally nothing. It advances literally nothing. Stuff like this pushes the story nowhere. This is a lyric stolen directly from the theme song of Sonic 06, where they say, "Never fear the fall." You could have literally just had no dialogue at all. Instead, you used it to make people go, yo, 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 he said the thing in the song! If we're gonna add in gimmicks like that, where a character just starts singing out of nowhere, at least use the correct song in the context and go for what I'm made of instead of his world. So, after that fight, Metal Sonic delivers a quick monologue to us, the reader, that Sonic hasn't learned anything of his plans going forward, which is not true because you just told him your plan. He knows that you're actively searching for Eggman's location. You're trying to conquer the world. In fact, the only thing he doesn't know is what Metal Sonic said in issue 3, where he said he'll be going directly for the Master Emerald next, which Knuckles has been slacking on his duty of protecting since Sonic Advance. So we'll see how Sonic gets out of a supercharged Metal Sonic. But for now, Sonic catches everyone up to speed about the Metal Sonic revelation. Amy asks if Sonic was able to download any data, and Sonic, who was completely caught up in immediately facing Metal Sonic upon arrival, forgot to even activate the device at all. Sonic decides that if they can't find out any information on the movement of the current troops, it'd be just as easy to find out their old plans? Okay, so let me now give a quick rundown of how poorly plotted out this entire saga is thanks to this comment. So, Sonic and friends have been fighting Badniks across the towns, attempting to find out any information on Eggman, and by doing that, they found out nothing every single time. And it was Rouge who actually found out where Eggman even was. Then later, Sonic sees the Egg Fleet, and they find out that Metal Sonic is behind it all, and he explains to them what his plan was. So they just right now, decide to break into one of Eggman's bases that they apparently have always known about, and from there, they decide to get some information. What the actual fuck are you talking about? Why the hell didn't they start there? What is the reason that they didn't just go straight to Eggman's bases and immediately try to extract a bunch of data? This entire plot sequence now makes no fucking sense at all. You know, I don't have any idea what finding out what Metal Sonic was doing would even stop. There's two things that were made completely obvious. One, that the Badniks have been attacking settlements from all over the place, which Sonic and friends consistently had to stop, and adding that with what Metal Sonic had literally just got done telling Sonic, they were looking for Dr. Eggman and trying to conquer as much of the world as they could before finding him. It's pretty clear, at least to me, that that is what their original plan even was. And if they can't get any information on Metal Sonic's new plan, then what good would going to find the original plan do for them at all? It makes more sense for them to actually say that they're hoping for one of the bases to include the update for Metal Sonic's current plan. Was this base abandoned? How would they even know it's abandoned? If Eggman has a giant internet server of his own, would all his bases not be connected to the system? Why would one of his bases only have old plans? Does Eggman have to manually update each of these 100 plus bases? Why would something that's connected to Eggman's server just stop sending data? That's clearly a wide broadcast to all Badniks, so there's no reason to assume that a base would only have old plans. There's so many questions for this plotline that there's no way that this can be resolved properly. Alright, so we, the reader, already know Metal Sonic is now currently heading for the Master Emerald. Sonic and Tails have a plane that they can use to fly through the skies. If they want to figure out where Metal Sonic and his Egg Fleet is going, they can literally just follow him. Or do what Sonic apparently did and just look at the sky, follow for down below. This entire detour is pretty unnecessary, but that's because they're going to introduce a new character. And what way to do it than make a scenario so contrived that Sonic and friends think it's a good idea to look up plans that they would already know about. So, issue 8. we get to see Silver. Pretty cool. This cover's about on par with issue 5. The only difference being that Sonic is standing next to Silver, and he's in someone's scope rather than in the shadow of Eggman. I'm kind of getting the feeling that they don't really know exactly what to draw for these covers. I mean, the drawing itself isn't bad by any means, but there's nothing going on, like at all.
Come on, step it up! Barely made it.
Talk about humongous!
What? That's over!
Silver appears out of thin air to help Sonic. Sonic thanks him for holding the doors open as he went in, and Silver is like, yeah, that didn't happen. And then a sniper snipes one of the Badniks. Silver somehow recognizes exactly what's going on and claims it's somebody called the Guardian Angel. Apparently during the events of Sonic Forces, there was a character who would, by just sniping, turn the tide of entire battlefields. But they would never join an army, but they exclusively only fought Badniks. Which sounds to me like they might just have joined a side. See, Silver had even been saved by this mysterious person, in fact, when a regular Badnik that any character from this universe can one-shot attacked Silver and he was nearly killed. It just shows how useless he really is. It's also revealed that Silver has returned from the future because in his timeline, there was literally nobody left. Not even animals or robots, just the earth, water, and constructions left behind. So, Amy directed Silver to assist Sonic, and now, here they are. Sonic spots a Badnik on the ground and assesses the damage done to it, confirming that whoever this person was, they have an advanced Wispon weapon. After he deduces that, this person who has been sneaking around trying to be unseen this entire time, even by Sonic and Silver, happens to be making a shit ton of noise trying to get a door open. Silver shouts out to her, which scares her because apparently, she was unaware that banging on metal with overpowered weapons wasn't very quiet, and she starts to fly away. But Sonic is able to bring her back by talking to her gently, and the wisps that she has around her fly back to greet Sonic, which plays a role in helping this character warm up to greet them. She says her name is Whisper, and so she whispers, and Silver is confirmed to be stupid as hell, and then he opens the door to reveal an ambush of Badniks, and the fight is on.
Yeah, let's
Victory's
party!
mine!
Get ready for a show.
There's robots everywhere!
Let's finish this!
Great party!
So during this fight, Whisper gets hit by one of the Badniks and attempts to reach for her weapon after she's crushed by debris. I don't know how this bitch managed to stay alive all this time, if that is all it took to literally put her into an immediate life or death situation that she absolutely would have died from had Silver not been there. But hey, who am I to say the Guardian Angel can't guard herself? After Silver flirts with this new hero, the gang come up to the computer that they were looking for, which is luckily undamaged after that fight. Whisper immediately goes to destroy the thing, but it's okay because Sonic stops her. Clearly this girl has been through some stuff, and apparently Eggman is the source of that? Did he kill the parents? Did he turn him into robot? What'd Eggman do to her? Silver searches through the files and discovers that there was a major update across the Eggnet. And surprise, surprise, Metal Sonic's headed for Master Emerald. So, the Eggnet is just a giant server of all the information. And what they found would actually be the new plan. What the hell is going on right now? What an absolutely confusing layer of events just to find out that Metal Sonic is headed for the master. Hold on. I just remembered something that SBO had said back in issue 5. Let me just check real quick. Yup. That's a fucking plot hole, guys. I mentioned earlier that it was surprising that Sonic and friends just now decided to go into Eggman's bases. Funny thing, that actually wasn't the case, because the Chaotix said they searched Eggman's laboratory, which was important enough that both Orbot and Cubot left Metal Sonic's side to make a cover-up, and the Chaotix even searched multiple Eggman bases and found nothing. No escape plans or personal traffic, as they said. They didn't find any information at all past the point of Sonic forces. How is this scene even happening at all? This plot actually cannot happen. There should not be any new or old information on this computer. How many people proofread this story before it got published? So even though there's a major plot hole, the story, it must go on. Knuckles' spidey sense tingle and he starts getting faint because the Master Emerald is in danger, which I guess that's just what happens to him now. I like how the Master Emerald only calls out to Knuckles after Metal Sonic has already captured it, not when his ship is menacingly hovering over the island. Amy is like, that's impossible. It's hidden on Angel Island. Oh, really? Is it hidden? Is it hidden? Does this look hidden to you? Bright, shiny, giant green emerald sitting on a huge altar in plain sight for all to see at just a glance. How very protected, you guys. Nobody would ever see this thing. And what a shame it is that Metal Sonic managed to just fly right in and apparently build a giant statue Eggman right over it. Oh, man. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Okay, bye.